So when humans moved out of Africa and ended up in the Arctic, those humans in the Arctic had the exact same genetic recipes and required or essential ingredients list as the ones in Africa. They just had to find different foods to do that. So they ended up getting the exercise nutrients because for most of our time on Earth, humans had to exercise to get food. Humans had to exercise to get water. Humans had to, they followed, the buffalo, or they, moved around. And we had social groups because we needed to hunt and gather together. So if we didn't work well together in a group where everybody was respected and everybody's contribution to the economy, whether it was hunting or gathering, was equally respected, where wisdom was passed on, and as people got older, they had more wisdom. So the elderly weren't ostracized, they became more and more valuable. And so these are the kinds of ways that humans, this is what we require as a species to express our genetic potential for health and happiness and quality of life. And if we don't match those things, then we have no chance. We can't do half of them or some of them. And so the unique perspective that I've brought to this is to say, look, just do what every other species does. Eat, move, and think, and socially interact right for your species type. So the first is, how do I identify what's right for my species type? That's knowledge, which I've put in the book. The second part is, how do I get myself to do it? How do I get myself with all these temptations now? I call it the perfect storm, because we have an enormous amount of temptation in this culture, in our society, in an industrial world, right? Like literally the economy is based on trying to get you to buy things you don't need and or that are really harmful for you and the planet. Literally the economy, it's absurd. So we have all this temptation, but we have very low self-control because we don't learn the concept of delayed gratification or how to work hard towards something. We don't hunt for 3 days to try and get food where we all have to work together. Everything's instant, instant, instant. So our level of self-control and role modeling of self-control has never been lower. Our level of knowledge about what to eat has never been lower. And the number of temptations about the wrong things to eat and the wrong ways to move and everything else has never been higher. And then on top of all that, we're told when we are get sick from it, it's because of a defect, take a pill. So there's an enormous amount of push, in society where you can see how people can so easily get trapped. So I'm trying to emancipate them from that by saying, here's the accurate knowledge, which says, first you have to identify what is required, and then you have to identify how to build your own self-control so that you can follow that. And once you do, you end up developing healthy habits, and healthy habits are as hard to break as unhealthy habits, right? And so, but the idea is, how do you build your self-control so that you can actually incorporate these things into your life? Because if I just take someone off the street like yourself and you'll say, hey, a burger and the thing, well, I picked that. Well, that's because, first of all, you don't have enough knowledge about that choice to really feel gross about making the wrong choice and thinking, you don't anchor that choice to standing in front of the mirror naked and saying, I'm fat. I don't like the way I look. I'm tired. I'm energetic. My skin doesn't look right. All the negative things that those foods are causing or not exercising is causing, you never think about those things when you're making that choice. So you can really help people to say, hey, you know what? This food isn't just pleasure, because that's all you think about when you're making the choice. You can say, well, there is some short-term pleasure while I'm eating it, and the other, 23 hours and 50 minutes of the day, it's killing me. And it doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make me feel good about myself. It doesn't make me feel good about my self-control or my willpower. I don't feel good emotionally. I don't feel good physically. So why would I do that for 10 minutes? So once you start teaching people this and then give them some techniques that I've developed about how to change their belief systems about that food and that exercise and those other social patterns, so that then they can start to learn how to develop their self-control. So now they're going in and they learn how to tilt the playing field. Because right now you'd agree, it's tilted against us, isn't it? Sure. With all these temptations. So I teach people how to tilt the playing field in their direction. And then teach them that you have beautiful, strong genes, that inside of you, genetically, you are strong, smart, beautiful, fit. You have, kind, generous. This is the human nature, literally. And so once you understand that's inside of you, and then you understand how to tease it out and tilt the playing field in the right direction, build that self-control, and change your moods so that self-control is easier when you're not stressed out. Making a good food choice is easier when you're not stressed out. Making a good food choice at the grocery store to take home is better when you're full than when you're hungry. And so you can teach people how to boost their pleasure before they make the decision, how to boost their self-control. So that's basically it. Is how do I identify what the right choice is? And then how do I get myself to be able to consistently make that choice? And that's the book. But the right choices are defined by our genome. So it's not confusing anymore. No more fads, no more of the new stuff every year. It's the human genome doesn't change, then what we need doesn't change. Giraffes today are eating the same thing giraffes ate 10,000 years ago, yes? Mm-hmm. Every species on Earth is, except ours.